Well, a very good afternoon to Studio Kwena as well as to the viewers at home, of course. It will be a massive problem, a massive disappointment for a club, Kwena, that is known as the glamour club of South African football because the amount of trophies that they've won in the past, the amount of league titles that they've won in the past, the dominance that they had in South African football, for them now to be scrapping into a top 8 fight, it already shows that there are levels that they've gone down by. Also, we know that it's only been 3 times in their illustrious history that they've missed out on the top 8. So it would be an absolute disaster if they do miss out back-to-back in this particular format of the league. We know last season they had 2 coaching changes, which could have, been the factor for them missing out in the end. This season, they added 10 players to a new coach, Newzroom Afrika, who they had a lot of faith in, but they still find themselves in a similar predicament. So for him today, as much as he's won the Nedbank Cup, he will know that another side of his mandate is to get Kaizer Chiefs into that top 8 finishing place, because we know that that means next season then they get to play in the MTN8 competition. And that competition slogan could not be more truer to Kaizer Chiefs today, because it is wafa time for Chiefs. There are no second chances for them if they don't get a positive result today against Polokwane City.
Now, after a very good start that Kaizer Chiefs had, I mean, remember when the season started, Kaizer Chiefs were filling up stadium after stadium, match after match. How do they find themselves in this position? And what are the permutations at play? A win does not necessarily guarantee them that place in the top 8.
Well, indeed, Kwena, they started the season with a couple of sold-out venues in different parts of South Africa. There was a lot of enthusiasm, excitement. They saw the likes of Gaston Sereno come in, make a positive impact immediately at Kaizer Chiefs. But since then, there's been a lot of inconsistencies. Kaizer Chiefs have struggled to win back-to-back games in this season. They've done so not too many occasions, but there have been a lot of occasions where they've won one, drawn one, won one, lost one, drawn a couple. So that is being the reason why they have struggled to get momentum, to get themselves up, in the higher echelons of the league. But the permutations at play, Kwena, are very interesting. Kaizer Chiefs currently sit in 9th place. The team ahead of them is Chippa United. They are in 31 in terms of points, but their season is done. They can't do any more, than what they've done in the previous week. For Kaizer Chiefs, a draw gets them on top of Chippa United into the top 8. But that still doesn't guarantee that they'll finish the league in that particular position, because on top of that, there are clubs that they are looking at to try and also usurp if they get 3 points. If Chiefs gets 3 points, then they usurp their visitors for today. Polokwane City will lie in 7th place and 33 points. Chiefs will get to 34. Depending on the goal difference, how many goals they beat Polokwane City by, if they get that result, they can even usurp AmaZulu in the 6th position. But while they're looking ahead, Kwena, they'll also have a look back, because there are so many other teams that are vying for that top 8 position. Maruma Galan's level on points with them on 31. There's Richards Bay, who are also trying to get there on 29. There's Mike Gaze, who still have 2 games, so they can actually get themselves over Kaizer Chiefs, even if they win today. So there's so much at stake, Kwena. There's so much to play for. But even if, Kwena, they do get into those top 8 positions, if they get into the number 8 position, that means they play Mamelodi Sundowns in the MTN8 competition. If they get to the number 7 position, then it's another Soweto derby against Orlando Pirates, their arch rivals. But I'm sure Kaizer Chiefs fans would look at the 2 Nedbank Cup results they had against their arch rivals this season and say, bring it on if they do finish in those positions, indeed.
Let's talk about the fans. I mean, we touched on the fact that as the season started, we saw a level of enthusiasm and excitement from Kaizer Chiefs fans as they started believing in Nabi Ball, as they called him then, and believed that he was cooking something. What's the fans, I mean, the attendance looking like tonight, especially as this is could be a decider as to whether their season ends with a positive or not?
Interestingly enough, I was just hearing from my colleague Kevin here saying that, hey, it's about to be full here. And I told him I'm surprised by that, but I can also understand, because it's the last game of the season and the the fans usually miss their team when it's pre-season, so they're coming to watch them for the last time in what could be a couple of months, but also because of what's at stake, Kwena, because they know that, yes, they were given joy by winning the Nedbank Cup, but the other side of the mandate for the coach is competing in the log positions, finishing in a respectable position, competing for those positions in Africa. Through the Nedbank Cup, they're able to get one side of the goal, but the other side of the goal is at least finishing in the empty net positions. Dylan Solomons was speaking during the week, also emphasizing that, saying, yes, the Nedbank Cup gives a bit of respectability to our season, but without finishing in the top 8, then you can't call it a good season. I've seen and spoken to a couple of fans. It's a big divide, the same that you see on social media, Kwena. Others are convinced no matter the result, they just are not buying into Nabi Ball, as you call it. They want to see a change. Others are still trusting and believing in the process, saying that, listen, he has shown what he can do with the players that he has, not quite the quality that he would have been asking for, a coach that demands quality because of the track record that he has when he does have quality players. We've seen him win a double treble at Yanga in Tanzania. He's gone to clubs as well out in Morocco and reached finals and finished in second place while he was at AS FAR last season. So that is just an indicator of what he can do when he is backed with the type of tools that, you know, can get him to the job that he wants to do, but also the type of tools that a club like Kaizer Chiefs, its acumen, its stature, should demand to have all the time, like they did in the yesteryear. So that's the divide, Gwena. The other half is saying, yes, you don't have quality, but it doesn't mean that you can't get better than what you have shown us at the moment. If you can't coach these players, how can we trust you with quality? The other half are saying, he brought in Thabo Cele, he brought in Glodi Lilepo, quality players who have made an immediate impact. So that is a marker, a precursor to what he can do if he can get 6 or 7 more Celes and Lilepo quality players that can see Kaizer Chiefs going up next season, competing again with their rivals for a top 3 finish and competing for all of the trophies that will be, you know, at stake. For their sake, they will want to get into the M10-8 so they can be able to compete for that trophy, the Carling Black Label Cup, the Nedbank Cup to defend that one, in the Confederation Cup, and also be respectable in terms of the challenge that they give who you expect to be the front runners again next season, Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates, in top honors for the league.